Hey there viewer, today we are going to go through the data management module from the Trailhead of Salesforce in the Admin Beginner Trailmix. You can go to Learn Trails, you can select Admin Beginner and you can find the Trailmix there, or you can search for the module directly through the search bar here. You just enter data management and there you will find the module. So let's get started. It's about learning how to import and export data in Salesforce. So let's go to the first part, import data. Import data, learning objectives. After you've completed this unit, you will be able to describe and compare the different options for importing data into Salesforce. List the steps involved in preparing and importing data from a sample.csv file using the data import wizard. Introduction to data import. You can easily import external data into Salesforce. Supported data sources include any program that can save data in the comma delimited text format, also known as .csv. Salesforce offers two main methods for importing data. Data Import Wizard, this tool, accessible through the Setup menu, lets you import data in common standard objects such as contacts, leads, accounts, as well as data in custom objects. It can import up to 50,000 records at a time. It provides a simple interface to specify the configuration parameters, data sources, and the field mappings that map the field names in your import file with the field names in Salesforce. Data Loader. This is a client application that can import up to 5 million records at a time of any data type, either from files or a database connection. It can operate either through the user interface or the command line. In the latter case, you need to specify data sources, field mappings, and other parameters via configuration files. This makes it possible to automate the import process using API calls. Note, with both methods, the number of records you can import depends on your permissions, the data type of the data you're importing, and the overall data storage limit for your organization. The type of objects you can import depends on your edition. Use the Data Import Wizard when you need to load less than 50,000 records. The objects you need to import are supported by the wizards. You don't need to import process to be automated. Use Data Loader when you need to load 50,000 to 5 million records. If you need to load more than 5 million records, we recommend that you work with a Salesforce partner or visit the Exchange for a suitable data partner product. You need to load into an object that is not supported by Data Import Wizard. You want to schedule regular data loads such as nightly imports. Note, Data Loader uses the SOAP API to process records. For faster processing, you can configure it to use the Bulk API instead. The Bulk API is optimized to load a larger number of records simultaneously. It is faster than the SOAP API due to parallel processing and fewer network round trips. Prepare for a data import. CloudKicks manufactures custom sneakers designed and personalized for their customers. Sales superstars Candace and Jose are always eager to get fresh air and exercise, so they schedule a walking meeting with Linda, the company's Salesforce admin. They want Linda to help import their CRM data into Salesforce. Because they have fewer than 50,000 records, Linda decides to use a Data Import Wizard. When she gets back to her desk after the walk, she preps the data for import. Follow these steps before you start importing any data. Use your existing software to create an export file. Clean up the import file for accuracy and consistency. This involves updating the data to remove duplicates, delete unnecessary information, correct spelling and other errors, and enforce naming conventions. Compare your data fields with the Salesforce field you can import into, and verify that your data will be mapped into the appropriate Salesforce fields. You might need to fine-tune the mapping before starting the import. For details, see field mapping for data sources in the online help. Make any configuration changes required in Salesforce to handle the imported data. For example, you might need to create new custom fields, add new values to pick lists, or temporarily deactivate workflow rules. Note: Salesforce recommends you import using a small test file first to make sure you have prepared your source data correctly. View this video for more information on cleaning up your import file. Let's have a look. Alright, I just skimmed through the video. It's basically how to clean up your data in Excel through various methods and then saving it as a CSV. So that's quite interesting if you actually want to do that in practice. Let's continue here. Use the data import wizard. Once you have created an export file and cleaned up the data for import, follow these steps to import data using the data import wizard. Start the wizard. From setup, enter data import wizard. Okay, let's go to the playground so we can actually see that. Loading a bit slowly, but there we go. So here we are in the sales view. Let's see, we're going to go to setup. And we should enter data import wizard to the quick find box. Let me just copy paste that. Quick find is there. And there we go, data import wizard. Supposed to review information and then click launch wizard. Okay, here's like the clean up your data import files, probably the same video. Field names, some information from Salesforce, and that to ensure that everything matches. Wants you not to import too many records, that we have already read, not more than 50,000. So let's launch the wizard and have a look. Choose the data you want to import. Oh, we don't really have any kind of data. We have some sample data here. Let's have a look. Yeah, I actually have sample data here. Let's keep the ISO standard in mind when importing this. 8859-1. I'm not sure what to choose here. It's contact data. and not objects. So let's continue here. Choose the data that you want to import accounts, contact, leads, solutions, person accounts, or campaign members. Click standard objects. Here those are contacts. Judging by the CSV name, so it's going to be standard objects, and to import custom objects, click custom objects. So custom objects, in case you have watched the previous video, that's what we have created there. And specify whether you want to add new records to Salesforce, update existing records, or add and update records simultaneously. Specify matching and other criteria as necessary. Hover over the question marks for more information about each option. Specify the file that contains your data. So I'm not sure what we're supposed to choose there. It's supposed to be new records. Well, let's just say add new records. The CSV. Let's drag this here. Let's see if this works. Doesn't really work. So I've added the context to import file here. ISO 8859-1, I believe that's correct, but let's check here. So you're basically completing the challenge at the same time. You're separated by it should be a comma, not a tab. CSV file should be correct. Let's check for the other settings. Use name for matching contact. Match account by. Okay, that looks good here, so let's just go to next. Map all the fields in the CSV file to the appropriate contact fields. Map cell to mobile. Mobile. Contact mobile. Let's go to map. Contact last name. The L name should be last name, F name. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. And that looks good. So let's go to next. And that was it. Modify, delete the imported data till you have successfully verified the challenge. Okay, we're gonna do that later. Let's continue here. So basically we did that, like choosing the character, encoding the one that was in the challenge. Map your data fields to Salesforce data field. The data import wizard tries to map as many of your data fields as possible to standard Salesforce data fields, which we have seen there. Most of it was already mapped. You just needed a bunch that were maybe not so clearly named. If Salesforce can automatically map fields, however, you do it manually, which we just did there. Unmapped fields are not imported into Salesforce. So basically, if we wouldn't have mapped that, it wouldn't have been imported. To see a list of standard Salesforce data fields from setup, at the top of the fields, click Object Manager. Click the object whose fields you're interested in and click Fields Relationship. For example, if you want to see a list of standard Salesforce fields for leads, click Object Manager, Lead, Set, and Relationship. Okay, let's try this out. Object Manager, Lead, Fields, Relationships. So basically, if it's named correctly in the CSV, or if you update it manually, then it should work. So basically here, in case you see my mouse, so if this matches, should be mapped correctly. If it doesn't match, like cell or F name instead of let's see. Here it should be mobile phone instead of cell, for example, and then it would have mapped correctly. I'm pretty sure about that. And so that was the issue why it wasn't mapped correctly. Basically, you can already do that up front. Just make sure in your CSV that everything is like named correctly, then it will map correctly. Alright, let's continue here. Scan a list of mapped data fields and locate any unmapped. Yeah, that's what we did there. The Map Your Field dialog box also gives you the option of saving data from unmapped fields in a general notes field for accounts and contacts. To do so, choose your account node or contact node from the Map to drop-down list and click Map. To change mappings that Salesforce performed automatically, click Change to the left of the appropriate fields. Okay, I'm not going to go through this like all over again, just to try this, but basically you can change it as well if you'd like, if you think the mapping is not correct. Then review it. Yeah, we did that, it all looked okay. And bulk data load jobs. There you can check the status if it's like a really huge file and it takes some time, but as you have seen, it was very quick. For like the 6 records, it was like instant. So let's read on further. Tell me more. This information can help you integrate your imported data into Salesforce. New values for pick lists and multi-select pick lists. If you import a pick list value that doesn't match an existing pick list value, for an unrestricted pick list, the data import wizard uses the value that's in the import file. For a restricted pick list, the data import wizard uses the pick list default value. Okay, this is like all specific things. Date and time, for example. The format needs to be right. And the field validation rules. Salesforce runs validation rules on records before they're imported. Records that fail validation aren't imported. Consider deactivating appropriate validation rules before running an import if they affect the records you are importing. Okay, it's all like not super clearly explains what that exactly relates to, but there is further information here if you are curious. at least for myself. I'm not going to import this anytime soon, so it's just for practice. So let's check challenge to earn 500 points. I think I did everything correctly, so let's see if anything went wrong. Checking. All the contact records from the CSV field were not found in the org. Okay. Oh, we didn't start to import it. That was just like a review. So in the end, it didn't import instantly at all, but progress is 100%, so all looks good, completed. Let's try this again. And we got the 500 points. Fortunately, no deduction for the little mishap there. And let's go on to tackle the next unit. Export data, learning objectives. After you've completed this unit, you will be able to describe and compare the two methods of exporting data from Salesforce, export data manually using the data export wizard, set up automatic export of data on a weekly or monthly schedule. Introduction to data export. You can easily export data from Salesforce either manually or on an automatic schedule. The data is exported as a set of comma-separated value CSV files. Data export tools provide a convenient way to obtain a copy of your Salesforce data, either for backup or for importing files into a different system. Salesforce offers two main methods for exporting data. Data export wizard, an in-browser wizard accessible through the setup menu. It allows you to export data manually once every 7 days for weekly export or 29 days for monthly export. You can also export data automatically at weekly or monthly intervals. In Professional Edition and Developer Edition, you can generate backup files only every 29 days automatically at monthly intervals only. Data Loader, a client application that you must install separately. It can be operated either through the user interface or the command line. The latter option is useful if you want to automate the export process or use APIs to integrate with another system. Using the data export wizard, GetCloudy is a high-tech consulting firm specializing in CRM implementations. Chinese Jones Bauer, GetCloudy's financial analyst, knows the data loss can have serious financial impact on the business, so she sets up a meeting in the employee cafe with Salesforce admin Chinua Toure to talk about backups. Chinua explains that he automates weekly backups with the data export wizard. Follow these steps to export data using the wizard. From setup, enter data export into the quick find box, then select data export and export now or schedule export. Let's give this a shot. Data export, and there we have it. The Export Now option prepares your file for export immediately. This option is only available if enough time has passed since your last export. Let's give this a try. all data, start export. And I will apparently receive an email notification when it's completed. Let's just reload this and see the status updates. Don't have my email client open right now, but anyway, it has been queued and I will apparently receive an email. The schedule export option allows you to schedule the export process for weekly or monthly intervals. Select the desired encoding. We already did that. Images, documents, attachment. We didn't choose that. Would probably be a pretty big file if you choose that. And select replace carriage returns with spaces. To have spaces instead of carriage returns or line breaks in your export files. This is useful if you plan your export files for importing or other integrations. If you are scheduling export, select the frequency only available for organizations with monthly exports, start and end dates, and time of day for your scheduled export. On your export data, select the types of data to include in your export. We recommend that you select include all data if you are not familiar with the terminology used for some of the type data. Click start export or save. We already did that and now it's queued, and whenever it's finished we will get an email. Once we get the email, we are supposed to follow the link or click data export to download the zip file. Zip files are deleted 84 hours after the email is sent, 48 hours. And now comes a quiz. The data export wizard can be operated through a command line, must be installed separately, must be installed by an actual wizard, is accessible through the setup menu. Okay, we access it here through the setup menu and the data loader. That was the one through the command line. To export data manually using the data export wizard. From the setup, open data export and select export now. I don't think that was the case, so let's reread it. Here's an application, it needs to be installed separately. So let's run, grow a long beard and find a magical staff. That would be me, I guess. And open the data loader bin file in a command line prompt and run the extract all commands. No, I don't think that's it, so let's choose B. The schedule export option can be scheduled at the following intervals: weekly or monthly, daily, every other day, on Thursdays, and twice on Tuesdays, yearly, weekly or monthly. Let's just double check. It says weekly or monthly, so yep, should be right. We should hopefully get the 50 points. Check the quiz to earn 50 points. Run around here. Let's search for manual. Okay, did that wrong. Let's see. Export now. Here, I guess that's manual. Sorry about that. I hope you didn't copy my wrong answer. So this would be the correct one. Lost 25 points there. So in case you're doing that, you now know the correct answer. Woohoo, you've got a shiny new badge on your profile. Thankfully, I still got the badge, and let's tackle the next module. I'm gonna do that in another video, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, click the like button. If you would like to see further videos, click the subscribe button. And if you have any feedback, whether positive or negative, just type a comment, let me know. Always happy to read. Thank you so much and have a good day.